I'm Jacqueline Policastro, Washington Bureau Chief for Lilly Broadcasting. In 2007, I created the D.C. Bureau alongside owner Brian Lilly. The goal, to provide local, unique content to our affiliates, and that's exactly what we do. The House will not vote tonight, but the Senate is still expected to vote. I'm joined now by Senator Sherrod Brown. What's going to happen for the rest of tonight?
I don't know why the House has again abdicated its responsibility on
Senator, some of the gentlemen that you invited here to testify said that if the president's plan goes through, we will be in a recession. Why haven't you and other members of Congress done something about this sooner? Some people would call this a manufactured crisis.
Well, some of us have been trying since we got here, and I'm on that list.
Let me explain how it all went down here. First, of course, NBC News projected that the president won, and this crowd went crazy. People waving American flags, jumping up and down.
Sandy is literally putting a damper on the final full week of the presidential race. Campaigning is now a logistical nightmare with lots of changes before Election Day. This is the climax, and the pressure is really on. The candidates know that this is their last chance to talk directly to millions of voters before they head to the polls on Election Day. This really is the very big night. What are you asking from Democratic voters leading up to Election Day?
Well, we're asking them to be no task too small people.
Well, I think it's continuing two things. One, prosecute the president for what he promised and what he delivered. Number two, that we've got a better plan for America.
The beautiful beaches of Florida aren't just a draw for tourists. The presidential candidates know they need to win over voters here. It's still uncertain who is better suited for the town hall style debate, but President Obama definitely has a leg up because he did this 4 years ago. You're a man who served in the White House in the Bush administration and governed a state. What's your advice for Mitt Romney?
Well, I think he's got a tremendous record.
Well, we're expecting a lively debate. Both candidates have a lot to talk about tonight, and both sides say that they're going to come out swinging. So we went to downtown Danville to talk to voters about what they want to hear tonight. It's something you wouldn't expect to see anywhere, but it's here. This is just one small community that's serious about presidential politics. Well, there are only 1,000 people actually inside the debate hall watching, so the real zinger for us tonight is we'll be watching on TV just like everyone else, but we're inside the same building where the debate hall is, so we'll be in Spin Alley getting all of the latest reaction immediately after tonight's debate. I'm here on Spin Alley. The first presidential debate just wrapped up. I'm joined by Senator Rob Portman. Senator, you're the man who prepped Mitt Romney for this debate. You played President Obama. How do you think he did tonight?
I thought Mitt Romney was terrific. I really think it changes the race.
The Ryan Bus Tour moves on to Cincinnati, where voters there will get the chance to hear why the Republican team wants that big victory. Then Mitt Romney will take the wheel and he'll head throughout the rest of the state before his final stop in Toledo. This victory rally is Mitt Romney's first campaign event of the day inside this high school gym. Welcome to Washington Insider. I'm Jacqueline Policastro. Our focus, getting you informed. Over the next 4 weeks, we'll break down the issues, bringing you the information you need to know before you head to the polls.
Are delegates ready?
Yeah, Diane, our delegates are definitely ready, and Ohio is going to be taking center stage tonight here at the convention. We caught up with Governor Kasich.
Convention delegates and lawmakers are not only talking politics, but they're talking about Isaac, too. The Ohio breakfast is where delegates focus most of their attention, with speeches from the state's political superstars. I'm here on the convention floor with the Ohio delegation. They have great seats. Their seats are right up front, very close to the stage.
Well, the balloons are still coming down right now, as you can see out here live on the convention floor. All of the balloons and confetti still falling. You heard one of those delegates say, history in the making. That's certainly what's happening here tonight.
While it might be pretty quiet here in the arena, our local delegates are out on the streets of downtown Charlotte. Why do you think Americans should re-elect President Obama?
There's a track record that earns it.
I tell you that our Michigan delegates are in a prime spot down there on the floor, and they have been giving some of the loudest cheers during these speeches. I'm here with former Governor Ted Strickland, and he just got done his speech at the DNC. Yeah. You said you were going to have a lot of fun with this, did you?
I had a great deal of fun.
The president arrives in Los Cabos, Mexico, and we're with him every step of the way. By doing so, those experts feel that destinations here in Mexico and throughout the Caribbean can be protected for generations to come. Traveling with the president at the G20 summit in Los Cabos, Mexico, I'm Jacqueline Policastro. Official meetings are over. A big agenda lies ahead, but right now there's no way of telling whether world leaders have the right plan to get our economy back on track. The Romney campaign is hoping that the VP announcement will help energize voters and change the dialogue from all that negative campaigning to the serious issues facing our nation. Analysts are adding even more states to that list of swing states. We're talking about North Carolina, Indiana, and New Mexico.
Has he said anything about the possibility of running as a vice president?
$1 million question, right? That's what everyone wants to know. Would he even take the job? I reached out to his office. He hasn't given me a yes or no just yet. But one thing I can tell you is that Portman is scheduled to campaign for Mitt Romney in Pennsylvania tomorrow. People are going to be watching this very closely. There's a lot of talk about the fact that how Ohio goes will be how this race is won. Basically, if Mitt Romney is able to win Ohio, maybe Mandel will take that seat. There are a lot of big questions surrounding the issue of gay marriage. Will it hurt President Obama's chances for re-election in November is probably the biggest one.
Are any lawmakers against this, allowing cameras in the courtroom?
Interesting question. I haven't heard any lawmakers say that they're actually against it. I talked to Republicans and Democrats from Ohio and from other states throughout the nation. Nobody actually said, no, I think having cameras inside the courtroom is a terrible idea. We will hear the issue of health care come up time and time again, both on the campaign trail and in the halls of Congress.
My name is Angela Zimmern, and I'm a candidate for Congress in Ohio's new and highly competitive 5th District.
The Democrat running for Ohio's 5th Congressional District tells me jobs, the economy, and education are the big issues in her campaign. She's a Lutheran pastor and touts her political experience on the Lucas County School Board and Ohio School Boards Association.
I'm a tough mom, and that's what it takes. A woman who's a tough mom. You know, if I can broker deals with my kids, I can broker deals with the Democrats and Republicans.
Because of redistricting, some of Marcy Kaptur's current district will become part of Ohio's 5th District. So meeting with Kaptur on Capitol Hill was on Zimmern's list of things to do.
She is very energetic. She brings new energy, new life to Northwest Ohio.
Republican incumbent Congressman Bob Latta has been representing the 5th District for 5 years.
I think this is a pivotal election in American history.
Latta says he's demonstrated his commitment to bringing jobs to the district, getting our economy on track, and keeping government small.
It's not more big government. It's bringing that back, giving it back to the people, meaning the people make the decisions.
And 5th District voters will make their decision on November 6th, when Latta takes on Zimmern and Libertarian candidate Eric Eberly. In Washington, Jacqueline Policastro, 13 ABC Action News.
Trade has to work for America. That means crack down on cheaters like China.
Mitt Romney's only message on trade isn't just the one you heard in this campaign ad. His message to the president? Campaign season trade cases may sound good on the stump, but it's too little too late for American businesses and middle-class families. Romney's attacking the president's latest move, a conveniently timed billion-dollar auto trade complaint against China.
He's been running around Ohio claiming he's going to roll up his sleeves and he's going to take the fight to China. Now, Ohio, you can't stand up to China when all you've done is sent them our jobs.
Many analysts agree that Chinese exporters benefit from subsidies like special access to bank loans, cheap energy, and a managed currency. The president wants to persuade the World Trade Organization that Chinese aid violates the prohibition on export contingent subsidies that China signed when it joined the WTO. This trade battle is not just taking place on the campaign trail.
I don't care about political parties when it comes to trade rules, when it comes to fighting for the middle class. But at least now the president's taking action.
While Senator Brown clearly supports the president's efforts, Republican Senator Rob Portman told us the president is attempting to convince Ohio workers that he can improve their economic prospects. He cannot hide from the fact that under his watch, U.S. manufacturing has shrunk for 3 straight months. Portman added, words are not enough, and that got Senator Brown fired up, slamming Portman's work as the trade representative in the Bush administration.
The last president didn't do any of this. And the trade representative was now the junior senator from Ohio, and they lost opportunities in enforcing trade rules. We're now doing it, and it's real jobs for real workers at real middle-class wages.
Timing really is everything, especially during the election season. But Obama's aides say he made the trade announcement in Ohio while on the stump because he was simply trying to balance life as the president and the campaign. In Washington, Jacqueline Policastro, 13 ABC Action News.
Well, it would be terrible for the community.
This is the only place in the nation where workers build battle tanks. Nearly 1,000 high-paying manufacturing jobs are on the line. The Army says it won't keep buying more tanks that the country doesn't need and can't afford. So it wants to stop work on tanks from 2014 to 2017.
It would not be good. We understand that.
This is the second year in a row the military tried to slash funding for the tanks. The Pentagon agreed to cut spending by $487 billion over the next decade. There could be $500 billion more in defense cuts if Congress can't come up with a deficit plan by the end of the year. Some lawmakers want to restore the money for the tanks in a defense spending bill working its way through Congress. But the president already threatened to veto the bill.
Listen to the gray heads in the Senate and the House who have done this for a long time and understand the importance of this for reasons of security and technology. I can give them a list of plenty of places where I think we should cut that we can get agreement on.
The plant is in Congressman Jim Jordan's district. He argues keeping the plant open is about our military safety.
I think it comes down to the fact that this is for national defense. The one area we're supposed to spend your money, constitutionally, is on defending the country. And particularly when you're thinking about tanks, it's important that the Pentagon understand the cost to shut this down.
General Dynamics Corporation, the company that operates the plant, says shutting it down, then restarting it, would cost more money than it saves. The Army disagrees and thinks the plant could stay open without Army orders by building tanks for foreign countries, like Saudi Arabia and Egypt. Senator Rob Portman already pitched the plant during a meeting with the Israeli defense minister.
We have a lot of allies in both parties in the House and Senate. I think the Department of Defense is wrong on this one. I think as long as Congress has its way here, as long as it continues to weigh in, that plant will stay open.
Lawmakers tell me they're confident they're going to win this battle for the plant, and they're constantly recruiting allies to help make that happen. It's all going to come down to the final appropriations bill. The deadline is September 30th. In Washington, Jacqueline Policastro, 13 ABC Action News. Take away all the glitz and glamour of the world leaders and the beautiful setting of Los Cabos, Mexico, and you're left with one stark reality. The world economy is struggling and something needs to be done now. The drinking will continue until the economy improves. This is much more than a silly t-shirt being sold on the sandy beaches of Los Cabos, Mexico. It's what people are thinking and feeling, both here and around the world. That's why leaders of the biggest economies are getting together to try to figure out how they can solve the economic problems that affect each of us.
You know, big decisions happen on a big level and are filtered out for the rest of us. Things that'll happen with Europe are going to affect people's 401ks in Toledo.
In this increasingly interconnected world, financial decisions made around the world have an impact in our area. It's not a zero-sum game. Experts say there is a way to grow the economy so everybody gains.
It's not a question of winners versus losers or the United States versus some other country. It's all about creating new marketing strategies, new job strategies, new products and services that people want to buy.
It's a delicate balance, one that our lawmakers know all too well. We asked Senator Rob Portman how he thinks what's happening here at the G20 will affect you back at home.
Wow, good question. The system that the United States has been known for over the years, which is a free market system, capitalism, has brought more people out of poverty than any system in the history of the world. It works, and we've got to get back to it.
Bottom line, when there are jobs, there are dollars to spend in Toledo, Ohio, and in Mexico. A fact that's not lost on workers here.
Right, we had to work too much.
And Ray Wood, president of UAW Local 14, says it's not just working harder, it's working smarter.
Global competition is real and it's serious.
So whether you're a worker at Jeep in Toledo or a worker here in Los Cabos, Mexico, we all have one thing in common. A global economic recovery is critically important, and this is a critical time. Tonight, the world is watching. Traveling with the president at the G20 summit in Los Cabos, Mexico, Jacqueline Policastro, 13 ABC Action News.